Happy New Year, sort of. Yeah, I'm wearing my Christmas outfit, or my Christmas shirt, because it's cold. And it's like the 26th of January. So, yeah. And I haven't been around for a couple of years. Sorry. Yeah, as soon as the last time I did a video was the 4th of October, 2016. And that was because my brother came to visit. The plan was all he had to do was put in a bathtub and a sink in our bathroom upstairs. And that's all I wanted. I wasn't asking for a whole lot. And it turns out that he, what do I want to say? He found out that the plumbing wasn't right. We had rust in the plumbing. We had cast iron steel or galvanized steel instead of copper or whatever else we were supposed to do. So it was just not good. And that was a problem, and we had to fix that. So, and we did do a video what the pipes looked like, and we had this crazy plumbing going all through the house and no rhyme or reason as to why it was going where it was. You know, because the plumbing, the bathrooms and the kitchen are all that way, but the plumbing's that way. It's like, even the entrance to the house is on that side. So we're like, don't know what's going on. But he saved us a lot of money, even though we spent $2,000 or $3,000 on supplies replacing the plumbing, and he still hasn't replaced all of the plumbing, just a good portion of it, because we had to have all of the plumbing upstairs done, but we still have the plumbing downstairs to deal with. We'll see how that works out. Then, but to bring you up to date as to what's going on, had a whole bunch of stuff going on. Gunner, you've seen videos of Gunner. He's the great big brown dog. He was placed with me to be trained as a service dog, which we succeeded. We went to weekly classes together for like a year, and my mother helped pay for part of that, which I was very thankful, Mom. And it was kind of funny because all of the other dogs that were in there were like 10 months, and they're like cute little doggies about so big. And then there's Gunner, who's like 100 pounds and huge. And yeah, he did really good. The only problem we had was one of the small dogs. We were all standing in line waiting for instructions, and one of the small dogs came up behind Gunner and bit him right in the leg. And of course Gunner didn't take too kind to that. And I was like, what's going on? And I found out. And then we had, but we got him through all of his training, and he got his testing. And in the process for a service dog, it's best to record as you're being tested, so that you can verify that the testing did take place and that he did pass it and all that kind of good stuff. So we did that. And then I went ahead and got him a jacket. Now, you know those jackets are not technically needed, but it's kind of nice to get people to not bother you while you have a service dog. I was with the weight loss doctor the last you guys saw, and the problem with that was I kept ending up with medical issues because of the weight loss or because of the weight loss process. Ended up with gallbladder problems. It was like, okay, surgery or no surgery on that one. Managed to solve it without the surgery. That was scary. Then I ended up having to have surgery because of a hernia. The reason why I ended up with a hernia is because I was doing a competition for fitness, and my competition is military, and guess what happened? Yeah, it didn't go well for me. So now I had the surgery, but I'm a lot more careful about what I do, so I don't have a repeat of that. Then I had, okay, just checking, my camera's doing something weird. The political bullshit, I'll call it for what it is. 2016, we had the unbelievable, what do you call it, campaign. And then we had the inauguration, and now we got a moron and a bunch of thieves in charge. So, yes, I'm not too, and don't call me whatever box you want to put me in, okay? My thing is, you put a person in to do the job, they should do the job. And that they were hired to do. And that's not happening. Plain and simple. And it's not just one individual, it's a whole bunch of them. The majority of whoever we got in the government offices, plural, whole bunch, across the country. Don't care what box you fit in, okay? My thing is, when it comes to politics, it is not a damn football game. It's not red against the blue or whatever color you want to come up with. You're supposed to be taking care of the people, not your pockets. Period. There was a saying in a TV show, I think it was Doctor Who, that said, the extremely powerful and the extremely stupid have one thing in common. What they do is they don't let the facts change their mindset. They have their mindset change the facts. There's only one fact. Okay, 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't equal 5, doesn't equal 3, it equals 4. And that's it. You know, and alternative facts don't exist. Fake news is a bunch of bullshit, you know. Unless you're watching Fox News. Breitbart and all that other nonsense. I had one person who actually wanted to get into a fight with me. And the really odd thing is that we actually agreed with each other, but he felt it necessary to fight with me. And it was just nonsense. So, I don't want to get political, but yeah. People were hired to do a job. They're not doing it. A bunch of us are not happy. And it doesn't have to do with one group or another. It's just across the board. All of them. I'm not happy with any of them. I finished 2 cross-stitch projects. One was I did Corey, when Corey and Kate and Projective Twin all came out here for a visit. I took a picture of Corey and Kate and I worked on a cross-stitch, showed it to them in 2013, and I was going to give it to them as soon as I finished it. They loved it. And then they broke up. Corey moved on, got his own new life, so I have been in communication with him, and I'm going to do him another one. But he took the picture, and I had to process it, which was not easy considering he's got one format and I got another format, and it was a challenge. But I finally got there. And we did a butterfly. Actually what's going on is we're trying to start a business where I take pictures, make patterns out of it, and then go from there. But yeah. Yes, I mentioned the Corey part. Trying to catch up with my list. Oh, for this last year, I just, out of curiosity, now I've been working my tail off trying to get this house in order. We had a flood, and I had to scrub the basement from top to bottom, and it's still, anybody who has allergies or anything comes down here still has a lot of problems. City came in and said we have to strip the basement down to nothing and start over. But we got to get the rest of the house in order before we can do that. And we got the bathroom upstairs, we got the tub in there, the sink, the toilet, all that kind of stuff, but we still need to paint it, make it look pretty. My son did a real nice job of putting tile in the bathtub. Looks really nice, but we still need to put tile on the floor. So we got some work to do on it. And we're almost done cleaning out the garage, and then we can start moving stuff from point A to point B and make it work. And we need to get the basement cleaned out so we can start working on it, get the money saved up. We got a couple thousand. I'm thinking if once we get it up to 3,000, we can at least get a good start on it if we do all the work ourselves. Shouldn't be that bad. I know it's going to cost more, but it's a start. So we got that going on, and it's slow moving. That's about all I can say. I found out that with a Cherokee, now I'm moving on to a new subject, my family on my dad's side is Cherokee. And we've always known that. And my aunt tried to get us registered as Cherokee. Well, it turned out that because we don't live in the territory, we didn't count as Cherokee. And those rules have changed around 2014-ish, from what I understand. And so those of us who are on the outside of the territory can register. We just have to prove who our family members are. Which we know who they are, but finding the documentation is the hard part. It's like, okay, I know it's this person, I know it's this person, I know it's that person, and then we go on back from there. But a lot of the Indian Nation was not in the habit of documenting anything because they didn't have a written language thing. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. But we're working on it. I've been working on the family records and everything, so we're trying to figure all that out. My Aunt Billy kept the family records. We're all good there. I've found a Cherokee circle. If you can find a Cherokee circle in your area, or whatever group you're with, I found a Cherokee circle in my area, and so it's been wonderful because I'm learning so much about a culture that is part of my family that we were never allowed to even know about, let alone participate in. And so now we're actually allowed to participate, and I'm learning the Cherokee language. So, Osio Toitu, Sandra, Mom's Opinion Dagwadoa, or Sandra Dagwadoa. That's about the extent right now. I got a long way to go on that. And I'm working on making a tear dress, which is tear or tear depending on how you say it. It's T-E-A-R, and you can pronounce it either way. The dress was originated because when they went through the Trail of Tears, the women were not allowed to have a pair of scissors to cut the cloth. So in order to get the cloth made, they had to take the cloth and tear it into pieces, and that's how they came up with the name of the dress. And so they tear the cloth. So I'm working on my own dress. I also have a prayer feathers, which is used for ceremony. And that's about all I can say for all the stuff that I have at the moment. Just trying to learn a lot about it, learned about their ceremonies, that kind of thing. Found out that they have a seed ceremony before they plant their seeds. So, and out here we have a group where you plant your seeds, you have a little garden, you plant them, and when you get your produce from that, you would take it to this place, and they would share it with the people in the community, the homeless and all that from the community, because they don't get fresh vegetables. They get, the canned goods and the leftovers and stuff like that. So the whole idea is to give them the fresh stuff. Found a YouTube group. We've been meeting in various places, restaurants and stuff. We take turns who's going to host. Some of the meetings I've been able to go to, I can't say most because I'm not at all of them. I don't know where they all are. But we all get together, we exchange ideas, and what we're doing and get to know each other, that kind of thing. And it's been a lot of fun. And I managed to, when I hosted my meeting, I had one group over here and I knew of another group over there, and I said, you're invited to come to my thingy, and some from both sides came, and it was great. Everybody got to know each other and I loved it. I bought a bunch of books with projects in them for ideas for videos. I'm not going to say I'm going to make a video every week or something like that, because I know me, I'm not going to do it. I will do it as I do it, and I will post them as I post them. I will try to be consistent on a regular basis. And as I work on projects, I'll let you know what's going on. I worked on a workbook. I got a little notebook, and every time I work out, I do a lot of challenges, fitness challenges, stuff like that. So what I've been doing is I'm writing down, when they send us a sheet with all the workouts, how the workout's supposed to go and all that kind of stuff. And I've been writing them down in my little notebook. And so when I go out to work out, I just go to whatever's on the next page. And, since I'm getting the workouts, this one's upper body, that one's lower body, this is the core. So it gets a nice mix of what I'm doing. Also online, there's Shaylos, and then there's Zachary, who do workouts online a lot. And so I plan to do some videos of me doing their workouts. And so those who think that they're physically not capable of doing them, you can have fun laughing at me trying to do mine, because I have my physical challenges. And then I got classes in church and stuff. At church, right now, I have a class that I just signed up for, but I signed up as a helper, not as a, as a student. I'm one of the helpers, and it has to do with sewing. And right now they're trying to introduce people. This is a needle, this is a thread, you put them together and you sew stuff with them. I'm kind of past that since I had my own business of sewing and stuff. And most of my work was with uniforms, but I've done a lot of other stuff. And so we started the class, and the last class I went to, it was just it wasn't really a class, it was like a lab. And they had more teachers than they had students. And I bring my own projects just because I know that's going to happen. So what I did is I brought my own project, and I started working on it. In the first class, I brought my fabric. It was all washed. I just needed to iron it, so I ironed it out. It took all class to do it because it was a lot. And the next class, I brought in some plastic. It was like that tarp stuff that you put on the floor so you can paint the walls. And I was making my pattern from that. And they're like, what are you doing? This is making a pattern. Doesn't everybody do it this way? So I get something new that I can teach the class. And I bring my service dog with me, and he does pretty good. Trying to think what else we do. Oh, and we're going to have a women's retreat in July, and people with service dogs go through a lot of crap. They have so many things that happen. And so our church is having a ladies' weekend, and we went once before in 2016. Now they're getting ready to do it now. And the first one, it was a struggle because they said, well, you can't bring your service dog. You don't understand the whole purpose of a service dog. So I had to educate, got to bring him. Gunner was in training. It was the first part of his training. It's the first time I ever trained a dog from beginning to end as a service dog. So I had my bumps and bruises along the way. And So we had some things that worked and things that didn't. And so we had just had a meeting. They sat down and said, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what's the rules, and I was like, well, the rules are pretty simple. Don't feed the dog, don't pet the dog, don't try to distract the dog. Just the dog is nothing more than a piece of medical equipment. And so you treat it as medical equipment. You leave it alone. So, and we talked about a few things, and also as when they see me having my issues, to just give us some space and let me and the dog deal with it. They really wouldn't need to call the emergency or call 911. I don't think they would really need to call the 911 for my stuff, but I do have my problems. I do deal with them, and I get through it. And of course, yours truly had to have a episode right there in front of everybody in the meeting, and I was like, this is great. I didn't want to give an example, but that's what happened. But I think that's pretty much it. I am going to, like I said, I'm going to try to stay on top of things. I have 1,000 things going on. And the big trick is remembering to turn the camera on and record everything. Oh, and by the way, how do you like this camera? It's a new one. The last one kept putting these lines across the screen, and they were like purple and white lines, and it kept fading out and doing all kinds of stuff. This one, I don't know how. I can actually see myself as I record, and I got to remember to look at that, not the screen, and which I'm not doing very well. What's the other thing? Oh, and it's light and dark and all kinds of weird stuff. I think my light over here needs to be reset. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. So you all have a good one. Wado for watching me. Oh, and subscribe. That reminds me, a friend of mine made a couple of subscribe pictures for me, so I'm gonna have to remember to pull those out. And push the like button, push the dislike button, comment, tell me what you think, what you'd like to see. I'm kind of a versatile type of person. I can probably do some tutorials. I have done some tutorials before. So you all have a good one. Take it easy. Love you. Bye-bye.